You're beloved for your social media presence, and that social media presence is pretty much exclusively Lord of the Rings memes. I was going to ask you, how many Lord of the Rings meme accounts do you follow? But then I just looked it up, and you only follow one. So do you just have everybody else you follow muted, and you just constantly hammer this one account that you follow?
You know how it works with like a social media now. Like you kind of see like one post you like it, and then like another 15 or 20 of them is gonna show up like 2 minutes after. Because so I can only follow one account, and I'll see like 30 of them like in next 2 minutes. So uh yeah, I mean, like Lord of the Rings is like a one thing that I grew up on, and it was like my favorite thing ever when I was young. So it's really close to me, and I just, those memes are, I think, like most of them are really funny. So it's just something I like to do.
I feel like you've really cornered the market on horny Lord of the Rings tweets because you have a lot of like when we doing it and Helm's Deep comes on, like that shit. Like that's unbelievable. You are so fucking weird, and I love it. Do you watch Lord of the Rings in Czech or in English?
No, in English, like when I
Okay.
was watching in Czech, I can basically say it by my heart. Like when someone was talking, I could like talk with him because I knew all the lines that they were gonna say. But lately when I was watching like those the extended editions and stuff, and like when I'm speaking English and everything, like I'm watching all the shows in English now. So lately I was watching it just in English.
As Pete said, most of the memes that you post are about Lord of the Rings uh, adversely affecting relationships, which is just not a genre of joke or experience I'd ever heard. Not to pry, like, do you relate to that? Have you been in moments where like a romantic partner has been like, it's me or Gollum, and you're like, get ready to speak Gollum, buddy?
I mean, that's one of the red flags. If a girl tells me that she doesn't like Lord of the Rings, I'm like, okay, you can go. But
But why does like I've dated people and they've never had to say whether or not they like Lord of the Rings. It's so interesting that Lord of the Rings comes up and becomes potentially a divisive issue. Like how quickly when you meet somebody, how quickly into you knowing somebody does Lord of the Rings come up?
I think it's like a third or fourth question, I would say.
That's the best.
It's outrageous.
That's the best. Is it like on your dating pro? If you had dating profiles, would you put like a deal breaker for me is you don't like Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I should put it in my bio. Like I should make a Tinder account and put in my bio. If you don't like Lord of the Rings, don't swipe. So I should do that. But
If you don't like Lord of the Rings,
Get
move
the fuck
along.
out.
get it
Unbelievable.
back out.
How many times have you watched Lord of the Rings? Like, is this like a once a week, kind of once a month, or is it just like a few times a
Okay,
year kind of deal?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I probably haven't seen it since last year now.
That's
Because
shocking.
yeah, that's shocking. Because like I mean, like it was so much going on, and especially in summer and stuff. Like you don't really have a time to go and like sit for like a 3.5 hours to watch a movie. So I haven't seen it in a long time. But in total, I I honestly have no idea. But the number would be probably in hundreds. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's probably gonna be so weird to say, but it's probably in hundreds.
Oh my God. My favorite meme, by the way, and it's tough because there's like 900 that you've posted, but there was a news story, or it was a collection of news stories, and the headlines were Netflix is concerned about some of its users. Sean, if you want to throw that up. Someone watched Lord of the Rings trilogy 300 times in 2018, according to Netflix, and you posted it with, yeah, 2018 me was wild. That's the best one. There, I guess there's not a question there, but
I
that
mean, I
is
mean, I mean, like sometimes I'm watching in those like stuff that I posted. I'm thinking to myself, I'm such an idiot. But I mean, it's yeah. I mean, this one was. I thought this one is funny, so I'm like,
That's a
okay, like
banger.
whatever. I'm gonna post it. Like I'm not the. I mean, I'm not the guy who's like afraid to post whatever, but. I think there's like a stigma that's going on that like hockey players doesn't have the personality or something, but uh like the NHL is such a like a let's say in compare with like other leagues like NBA, NFL, MLB maybe like the NHL is so like gentleman or whatever like more strict or whether like you don't have a problems like guys in the NBA or NFL have. So it kind of goes that hockey players can be like boring, I would say. So I mean, if I like Lord of the Rings, if I like anime, if I like UFC, whatever, like I'm not afraid to like say or show that I like it.
Hey, thanks for watching the channel.
We appreciate everybody who checks out our stuff, but 80% of our viewers are not actually subscribed to this page, so if you could smash that subscribe button, it would go a very long way for us.
The more subscriptions we have, the more visibility we get from YouTube, which allows us to do more.
So press that button. Thank you. So that rules, and that's kind of the core of this show is we get guys on and we fuck around with them. We'll talk about serious stuff as is needed, and we'll do proper-ish interviews, but we also know that there are a lot of fun people in the league like yourself. Are there, though, like yourself? Like, have you met a lot of other players in the league who who do wear their like passions on their sleeve the way that you do?
Sorry. Uh, I mean, like from the guys that that I've played with, like yeah, the one good example was like Linus. I mean, Linus doesn't talk about like probably his hobbies that much, but like the guy is a really really big like a anime and manga fan because he reads manga and he watches anime, and I think his knowledge about it is so deep. And so he's one of the guys that like we've been talking about movies, the episodes of like Naruto, like One Piece, whatever. And he's like a really passionate about it, and like people really don't know about it because like it's his hobby, and like he doesn't like show it much on like for the socials and stuff
He's
like that. But
Swedish.
yeah, he's Swedish, so he's little like
Just
conservative. Yeah,
yeah,
it
you're just
just
kind of
for
just
for
not
his
braggadocious, even if you're like the best
yeah
at what
yeah
you do.
yeah exactly. So there's a lot of people like like a hunters, for example. Like for me, like hunting was never a thing, but talking like with Marshy or Sway and people like that about like a hunting, it's like crazy how they like passionate are about it. And you have Pasta, who's like a really big like soccer fan, or like he really cares about like a style and fashion and stuff like that. So like if you take a look at like the stuff that he's wearing, it's incredible and he can pull it off. So there are people like for example like Pavel Zaka, because he was just like a really good friend of mine, and he's a really good teammate, but he doesn't have any socials. But he is very passionate about cars, for example, and just people don't know about it because he doesn't have those socials and stuff like that. But people like hockey players are not boring like maybe the all the fans or people around like think they are. But it's just something like we don't have those scandals, we don't have those stuff like people in NBA or NFL has. So like Tyreek Hill now, right? Like you don't see Sidney Crosby get pulled by a police trying to fight off police. So you know
Uh, did you mean the movie Cars or like Cars? Because
cars
I'm
cars cars cars
okay, because if he's a Cars guy,
Paul's like a big Lightning McQueen guy.
yeah, then like
But
you and him would rock. Just like, hey, you want to go see a movie? Is it Cars? No. Then I don't fuck with. Like, I'm thinking that he's the same way towards Cars as you are towards
yeah
Lord of the Rings. I have to ask you, as a bit of a weirdo myself, have you ever felt kind of discouraged in such a gentlemanly space to kind of tone down the weirdness? And have you ever maybe felt kind of bad for being yourself in a space where so many people can be like, hey, let's just kind of do this thing this way and follow these parameters?
Especially in like sports where it's like bro-y and like you're on the nerdy side, endearing, but yeah.
I mean, when I was on like a run, when I was posting memes like every day, I was sending it to our to Bruins like social media guy, and I'm like, hey, is it like, can I even post that or not? And there there were a few times when he said like, no, please don't post that. So
What
I was
fucking
kind
Lord of the
of
Rings posts are too inappropriate for a grown man to post that their job is worried about them? What does your For You look like?
I'll probably wait when I don't have a contract and I'll post it, but no.
I know now I don't want you to like I don't want to root for you to retire or whatever, but man, I want to see these memes. I gotta see them.
So
Yeah.
your answer to my question is, by the way, like, oh, it gets weirder. You're like,
It
this
can
is
get
the
weirder.
PG
Yeah, it can
version.
get weirder.
You're on like deep Lord of the Rings web. That's wild.
My
Oh,
God.
dark Lord of the Rings, but
That's
Dark
crazy.
Lord of the Rings web.
I wanted to ask you if you had the opportunity to star in a Lord of the Rings movie or
ooh,
never play hockey again. But if you did it, you would never be able to play hockey again. Would you do it?
would it be a lead role?
Yeah, let's say like not the number one lead role, but like you're getting the poster. You're on the poster.
Lots of
Oh, I'm
time
on a
with Viggo.
poster.
You're with Viggo pretty much the whole way.
I mean, if it would be like a Orlando Bloom kind of thing when he had like a hell of a career after, I would probably say yeah, I would do it. But if it would be someone else, I would probably stick with hockey and watch it every day.
Okay, so just so people won't get mad at you, now we're going to set this up to confirm that you do love your job. I'm going to ask you
I do.
if you would rather have the ring or a Stanley Cup ring, and you're going to say like, no doubt Stanley
Oh,
Cup ring. Even though I think even after telling you what to answer, I'm not
Still gonna be
positive
like
you're
the
not going to
ring.
pick the ring.
Yeah.
Would you rather have the ring from Lord of the Rings or a Stanley Cup ring?
Stanley Cup ring.
Whoa, that's a fucking gamer, man. That
You
got that dog in you, huh,
sell
brother?
that one, I'll tell you what. You did not sell it. I don't think acting's in your future now that I saw that.
Yeah. Viggo wants somebody else. The other thing, of course, I needed to note, one time I sent Pete one of your Lord of the Rings tweets, Sean, if you could pull up 6, where there was a thing about Margot Robbie having a crush on Viggo, and you quote tweeted it with, "She's just like me, FR," which again gets back to the you speaking in memes things. And I sent that tweet to Pete and I said, this guy's unbelievable. This is something that you would tweet. And then Pete told me he DM'd you and said you should quote tweet this with, "She's just like me for real." So Pete also ghostwrites some of your Lord of the Rings tweets.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially with like Vigo, I had an opportunity to meet him this summer,
Oh
and
shit.
yeah, and when I like I told you when I was young, like I was watching it like always, like every single opportunity, and he was like something like a hero for me when I was growing up. So Vigo was like a host for that film festival I was talking about earlier. And so I texted like my agent, hey, like I know that like the people from the festival, like do you think there is a chance that like you can text someone and try to set up like a meeting with Vigo, because like he's like a one person, like one actor like that I was really like following like his whole career, and he was like a really basically like a basically like a hero for me. So I he set it up. He set it up, and I was really glad that I was able to meet him. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I met him, I literally forgot how to speak English.
That's
I
wild. That's
I
awesome, though.
didn't. I was like shaking. I was sweating. I didn't know what to say to him, and the first thing he said to me, hey, he was like, "Oh, like I heard that you're a Bruins player, so I really shouldn't be speaking to you because I'm live in Montreal. I'm Canadiens fan." And I was like, I got traded last night, so I think you can speak to me. And he was like, oh, really? Good then. So I was just like telling him like, hey, like, like I'm following following you like since I saw Lord of the Rings, like all their movies, like you were really like a hero for me. I showed him that I have a tattoo. I have a tattoo here, tattoo his on my forearm, and he was like surprised. He was like, his wife was like super super happy about it, that someone would have like a Vigo tattooed on his body. So it was a really like a lifetime memory for me, and I would be always like remembering that moment.
I don't even care about Lord of the Rings, but I fucking love you, man. Like that, I'm so happy for you that you got to have that and that it meant as much as it did to you. Like, do you have pictures and everything? You got like a picture with them?
I was
and
gonna say, like, how did
frame
you
Yeah,
not
yeah.
post a picture of that? But you did when I remember that you did, because I commented and I said, there's no chance you're ever washing that arm again. It's you showing the tattoo with him like holding your arm. That I forgot about that. That's incredible. That had to be a crazy roller coaster, like 48 hours for you getting traded, and
Yeah.
then the next day meeting your childhood hero.
Yeah, and the worst thing about that was that I was talking to like a guy who was like setting it up. So I was talking with him for like like a week in advance, and I was we had I was after the trade, so we had a kind of long night with my friends, and I woke up the day where I was supposed to meet him, and I had three missed calls from the guy who was setting it up. So I was freaking out. I would start freaking out, like if I feel like bottle it up, because I got drunk last night and I'm not gonna be able to see him. I'm gonna probably jump out of the bridge because 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 I was so stressed. But like I called him, he picked it up. I was like, I'm really really sorry. Like, is it still on, right? Like, tell me it's still on, right? And he was like, yeah, it's okay. Just come by like 4 p.m. like to that place. We will be there, or like you will wait for us for a minute. So I'm like, so he told me like be there at like 4 p.m. I was there like at 2:30, waiting like an hour and a half in advance, just to not be late. But yeah, it was really like one of the like greatest moment in my life. I'm not gonna lie.
We all silly like the mayor.